And so, here we are, yet again. Another thrilling tale of the Kobolds and their continued adventure in exploring the lost city of Ythrin. And all the strange, wonderful, and terrifying things they have uncovered so far in its mysterious depths. Not the least of which are maniacal, scheming treants, strange people, artificial people, a curse that makes one's skin clammy, yet to be determined, and all manner of other strange things dwelling within. Not the least of which is the secret of something called the Arcane Architect, a ritual which is meant to gain access into the central spire of Ythrin, where Ariel Larthus and all of his studies lie within. You have yet to find any of these so-called rituals or steps in order to gain access, save for one, in that the wands that you crafted from the heart of the nether oak tree in the Arboretum is necessary to do this. That is all you have uncovered so far. In your exploration, you also determined something else as well. That you are not alone in the city as of now. For Avarice and her followers of Levistus, the cults of the Black Sword, are now in the city. We determined the best place where you thought that she might be, which was the floating sort of spire in the southeastern part of the city, to which, with with Valin's newfound spell that she had received from the Drow's spellbook, you were able to fly on the back of a giant hawk's Hagnar, flying throughout the city, and you reached there in record time, catching Avarice unaware as she was exploring the interior of this sky dock. A back and forth there was between Valin and Avarice, and some between you and Avarice herself, to which Avarice tried to persuade one of the two, both Valin and yourselves, to either split apart and join her side and leave the other to fend for themselves, to which both options were denied, and to which she gave you an ultimatum: leave the city within the hour, or face the might of her cult, and her Dark Master of Levistus. To which the response, oh my goodness, the response, was for Hawk's Hagnar to fly down to the base of the tower, bring out the mighty Adamantine Axe, and swing away with his giant form, the innate power of the axe, to easily destroy, both objects and structures. Hawk's Hagnar chopped down the tower as easily as you would a tree, and the tower itself toppled down, but not before Avarice managed to dimension door out of the tower onto the willing arms of a gargoyle who she flew away with.
That's not to say that lumberjacks' jobs aren't extremely hard.
Of
We
course.
know that they are.
Indeed. Of course. But considering Hawk's Hagnar is quite large, it does make it a bit easier.
Paul Bunyan chopping down a tree.
Essentially, as easy as Paul... Yeah, that's a more apt comparison. As easily as Paul Bunyan would chop down a tree. And with that, we now begin the session where it left off. The ruins of the Skydock Spire, with Kingsport the Penguin in tow, who is still sort of tagging around with you, not sure of what to make of any of what he is in that thick kind of like feathery plumage above the eyebrows. But if you could see his eyes, you'd imagine they would be wide with shock, as the beak is wide agape, with no words emanating from within. Oh, I'm also on the wrong page here.
Kingsport, you'll let the fish in.
Closes their mouth.
I suppose that's a good thing for you, but there aren't really any fish, so maybe flies.
Just starts waddling a bit to the side. I wasn't sure how to process this information. You all are crazy. The kind of crazy that I'd like to stick around to protect me. So I'm not going to say anything bad about it. A wise policy, Villain will kind of nod in the penguin's direction. It's amazing what they can do when they put their mind and might to something. It's terrifying to witness. You get used to it, though. Yeah, you say so. I must say, when I thought of getting some sort of revenge upon Valin, this was not what I had in mind, and yet I enjoyed every single moment of it. You can tell Valin is like, she's like, her hand is covering her mouth, but you can tell she is like stifling a smile really hard.
Shall we pick through the rubble and see if there's anything like salvageable?
You could try, yes. Although I, she kind of looks towards the tower as a single bit of stone that had somehow was still in the air, tinks to the ground. I don't think there's much left.
Well, we're small. We can fit through small cracks. So if there's any like books or anything, papers, we can pull them out.
Be my guest. She will just kind of like gesture a wide sweeping arm towards the great pile of rubble. Not to mention shards of glass and other sorts of very sharp, broken bits that are now strewn about as well, making it a very sharp and pointy, hazardous terrain. So if that's the case, do you all wish to scavenge the ruins?
I mean, I could, like, pick up some boulders and move them out of the way. I'm not going to be much for digging in through those small spaces Meepo was talking about.
Right, most of us are small.
Yeah, so essentially, if I'm just going to point this out on the map, this huge black space now is essentially, you can walk across it. It's essentially just difficult terrain. But you will notice, walking across certain patches you might step on something very sharp. I will require perception checks as well as investigation checks when walking through this terrain.
Both? Or just one or the other?
Both. The investigation is for searching for stuff, specifically for searching for salvageable items. The perception is to avoid getting poked and slashed by sharp debris.
I may have to reload my character sheet here.
Also, I need to readjust stream because, of course, every time Streamlabs likes to update, it messes with my settings.
No.
Okie dokie. So, with some of the rolls I see here.
Brought to you by technical difficulties.
Brought to you by technical difficulties. Not on my end this time. I fully blame Streamlabs. So 17 perception, natural investigation. Hagnar, as you're kind of combing through the rubble, you're keeping a very sharp eye to not poke yourself or slash yourself on anything sharp. And it's very difficult for you especially because of your increased size. You have to be very careful not to accidentally step on something. But you pay so much attention to that it's difficult to actually search for something worthwhile. Not to mention that there doesn't seem to be a whole lot to find. Skinnagrapper. Indeed, even with the 18 and the 25, most of what was in this tower was destroyed in the fall. Anything useful that would have been salvageable is no longer usable.
I'm looking specifically for like blueprints or books that might be like documents on like airship travel or whatever. This is a dock.
Okay. You do find one thing. And it's only because you rolled the natural 20. Meepo. Because otherwise, everything else was destroyed because of that. That's what happens when you destroy a tower, unfortunately. I'm sorry. But you do find one thing. Meepo, as you're coming through the rubble, you find there is a fallen bookshelf where all the contents have spilled out all over the place. All the pages are kind of have been ripped by the rubble. Pretty much not being used. But you do see a bottle that is somehow was wedged between two different books and miraculously was cushioned by the fall. You look at the bottle, and inside is a miniature replica of a skyship. It's intricately detailed, but it is this magnificent ship that has somehow been wedged into the bottle.
Huh. This isn't really my kind of thing, but Skanuk, you might be interested in it.
Are you muted, Skanuk?
I am. I was muted.
No.
Oh no. So, huh. Does it seem like it is magical anyway, or is it just a highly detailed model?
You can't tell if it's magical at first glance, but it is a very highly detailed model, though. It is beautiful. Probably worth a decent amount of coin. I will say, though, with your perception checks, you also notice something else. As a great amount of destruction and the noise that it most likely made most likely drew some attention. As you notice, 6 figures begin to slowly creep around the outskirts of this tower over here. More of those singular-eyed creatures making their way towards your direction. They all kind of slink on all fours, slowly crawling along. Their large, globular, green glowing eyes just occasionally switching between all of your forms. One of them begins to speak. As they begin to slowly creep around the edge of this tower over here, kind of in your direction.
I believe we still have my telepathic bond going.
You would have the telepathic bond, yes.
It lasts for an hour, so it's probably about halfway through by now.
Around there, yeah.
I am still enlarged, but my giant's might is probably out.
Your giant's might would be out by now, yeah. But you are still enlarged.
Okay, well, we should do something about these.
What are they saying?
Professor?
I
Listening
think they're
and
saying...
ability. Go ahead, you're about to say something?
I think they're saying, look at us, we're annoying little cretins. Please destroy us.
Haha! One would only hope, Mr. Hagnar, but no, nothing of the sort, not even close. What they actually are saying is...
I think you missed the joke.
No, I thought it was quite funny, but one must appreciate accuracy in these situations, especially when they're claiming that we are defilers, and the master won't be happy with us, and they're apparently increasingly hostile.
Well, you can't really fault them for the whole defiler thing.
Well, it's kind of ironic, seeing as how, like, they are what they are.
Oh yes, it's absolutely hypocritical, but doesn't matter. They are quickly advancing.
Hawks
Yeah.
is going to draw his axe and be ready to fight.
Violence it is.
Probably try to intercede over here and stand between himself and the...
Yeah, let me that area I will have to reveal it, even though all that area is
Yeah, we'll just consider the inside of that circle to be rubble.
yeah, it's all rubble essentially. And I should probably remove these those little things right here.
The axe chop marks.
Yeah, essentially. All right. With that though, at this point, I would have you all roll initiative.
Hey, violence.
Come see the violence inherent in the system.
There's something fun about saying that about D&D, isn't there?
I feel like they're going to roll a natural one.
Well, you know, sometimes you just have to.
Sometimes
say,
I call these.
He's pretty good about that.
I don't know if
Weirdly.
I've called it this time, but sometimes I call these.
We'll have to see. For some reason, that is not listed here, so I have to look that up real quick.
You're especially good about calling your rolls when you're playing in White Voice.
They are surprisingly dexterous. Okay, not an actual one, but pretty close.
No.
Still pretty bad.
I sort of called that.
Sort of cold. I'll count it. I'll count it.
They were definitely last in initiative.
You should have generalized.
It would have been much more impressive if I had, yeah.
More impressive in one way, less impressive in another way.
Indeed, indeed. All right, so let me put on some music by the wonderful and talented Travis Savoy from his Winter's Wrath album, Buried Secrets. So, first up, in the initiative order, can't forget to have the Lin in there. Of course. They're still last. She rolled low, but they're still last.
Hey, now we got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. We're one off a flush.
Haha. First off, though, is Mipo Molo.
I suppose. Oh, I don't have it prepared today. That's a shame. Instead of that, I guess I'll cast. Sorry, this is taking longer than I usually do.
It's all good. It's all good. Aid.
I'll do that on 3 creatures. So I suppose I'll do that on Skanuk, Scales, and Villain.
Okay. Villain kind of flexes her very thin arms. She's like, thank you, dear.
Right, no sense in losing our casters.
Appreciated. Make sure to return the favor.
Back up a bit.
Alrighty. Scales, it is your turn.
Okay. I'm going to hold my action until they get within range of an ally or an ally gets in range of them.
Oakley dokley. In that case, Hawks Hagnar, you are up. Yeah, so just treat the area right here as difficult terrain, essentially.
That means I have like 15 feet of movement here. So 5, 10, 15, and I suppose that would set off Scales' held action.
Indeed it would. Ha!
I have advantage on 3 of these.
Bada bing.
I'm going to hit each of them in a line, except for the last guy, since there's 6 of them. I can't hit 6.
Fair enough. Then swing away, dear Kobold. Swing away.
The 3 with advantage.
Because you're big.
Big. Okay. Yes. Definitely hits. Let me see.
He just
13?
zooms through them and it cuts them down.
A 13, unfortunately, will miss the second one. As they are surprisingly... There is like a bit of like... chitinous kind of like exoskeleton on these creatures, and the blade just seems to kind of carve slightly into the exoskeleton without damaging the interior of the musculature of the creature, unfortunately.
Yeah, I should have used the storm rune at the start of my thing. I would have been able to get him to re-roll that.
Right, 18 will hit. And 22 will hit.
Oh.
Natural
Oh
20.
boy.
1, 2,
Oh boy.
4, 5. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
That's disgusting. 65 damage. That's disgusting.
I think you mean delicious.
Yes, delicious and nutritious. So, as you strike that last one, Scales, remind me, do you have to be within 5 feet of the last creature that you hit? Remind me.
Not the
Yeah,
last
so
one, but it has to be one of them.
I can teleport up to 60 feet, and then as long as there's another target within 60 feet of said creature, I can teleport to it. So I teleported down the line and then ran this way.
Ran that way. Okay, gotcha. In that case, then you would take some attacks of opportunity if you did so.
Just one.
Just one, but
If
still.
the last guy's not dead.
Indeed. So just the one guy. Let's see. So that will be... As you try and dash away, it will strike out with its claws for 12, which I believe misses.
That misses.
Yeah, thankfully. It just kind of strikes out and you kind of scamper underneath, kind of dodging out of the way. This guy is completely toast. He's gone. Other than that, all the ones you've damaged are supremely hurt.
If you do it again, you could just hit them all again.
The rest of it should be easy, guys. Clean up.
Clean up indeed. Hawks Hagnar, it is resuming your turn.
Okay. I'm gonna just, like, cement these guys' dooms by getting advantage myself. I'm gonna Draconic Roar.
Meant these guys dooms.
So that means I'll have advantage on 3 attack rolls. I'll do 1 each at these 3 guys.
Alright.
And anyone will have advantage on this guy, even though I'm not next to him at this point. So,
And
yeah,
swing
I'm
away.
going to go right down the row, same as Scales did. So, Bop, 10 slashing, plus a d4.
10 slashing. Okay, that one is still up. But barely, just
Alright.
hanging on by a thread.
Second guy, 21.
21. This
Keep
was the one that
slashing.
this was the one that was not hit. So he takes a little bit of damage.
It's 11. And then the last one, 2d4s on him, so that's 21, 27 damage.
Without even much effort at all, the axe comes, crunching down and splits him straight down the middle. The eye perfectly split as well.
Icarus approves.
I was hoping to get all 3 of them, but, these things don't always work out. That will be Hawks' turn.
Alright. That means Canuck, it is your turn.
I think Fireball seems a bit redundant at this point, so I'm just gonna go ahead and Scorch and Ray.
Fair, fair.
Yeah, I think 1 each for the front 3.
Alright.
Probably don't have Emboldening Bond, have advantage because they're adjacent.
And
And
they've been roared.
Mm-hmm.
ooh. And a 1. And a 2.
Yep.
And a 3.
Yep. All of them will hit.
So that would be. Let's go ahead. So that'll be 13 for the first.
Alright.
And then.
Alright, as you strike the first one with the Scorching Ray, it sizzles, impacts right in the chest, knocking him over. He's completely dead.
Only 4 for the second, sadly. And then 8 for the third.
Okay, that's fine. 8 for the third. Alright, the third one's looking pretty rough. This guy in the back here is just kind of curious about their life choices. If they were coherent enough to recognize them. But given that there's some madness involved, you'd figure they might not.
Yep. And then for an encore, which one looks the least hurt of the front 2?
Least hurt the front 2 would be this one.
Okay. I'm gonna have the Force Pulse to shoot him.
Alright. Yeah, it is.
Dealing 13 force damage.
Okay, looking significantly more hurt as he gets pushed back over the corpse of his fallen comrade, almost knocking himself over in the process.
And I'm gonna step over here a bit, just so that we're not all adjacent, and then be my turn.
Okay. With that, it is now the Lynn's turn. Lynn will kind of roll up her sleeves, crack her knuckles. Alright, I think it's time to try a little bit of a spell that I did earlier. Since seeing as how they're so nice and lined up for me, you'll see as static electricity begins to sparkle between your fingers. As she brings up her spell book, flips through the pages. Let's try one of these. A bolt of lightning will streak out in a line outward. They all need to make dex saves. 2, 3. Okay, so 2 of them will pass, but that's fine. Not insignificant at all. This one right here, the one that was slightly damaged, it at half damage deals just enough to take it down. It had 16 health left.
So?
Oh, wait, no. Hold on. My math is wrong. It's still technically up, because 16 plus 16 is 32, not 28. Never mind. I'm wrong. My math is wrong. I just revealed health anyway. It's fine. It's fine. It's hanging on, but barely. Ignore my bad math.
Lives by a thread.
Pay no attention to the dummy behind the corner. That's fine, because it will still take out this one right here. Alright. I'm getting out of here. Minion! Fire at will! The skeleton, in response, loads the crossbow slowly, creakily, and fires for the one in front with a 19 to hit. Dealing minimum damage.
It's something.
It's something. Actually, hold on. The modifier might be a bit bigger than I remember with the skeleton. Let me double check that.
It's based off of her spell.
Well, she's not using the necromancer stat, but she has her own specific stat.
Oh, okay.
That skeleton. Yeah, 'cause it's not. Remember, NPCs don't use the abilities that player characters do. Remember that.
I believe skeleton is a 12 or 13 dexterity score, so it would be a 1 still.
It actually gets a +1 more. So I need to do some. Hold on. 16. Actually, with the modifier, the one extra modifier, that is actually enough to kill it. As the crossbow bolt hits it right in the shoulder, knocking it to the ground. It has lost too much blood as it kind of curls inward on itself like a spider and just stops moving. So that's Villain the Skeleton's turn. Now it's the singular Nothic's turn. Its eye turns right. Its eye turns left. It begins to run. And its screams and shatters echo out throughout the city. Professor Scantrell can only say, "He's calling for his master."
Should I get the holy water ready?
It seems that he is running away, so I will allow anyone who has a ranged attack to make one last attack before they run away completely.
How far did he get away from me?
Let's see, he was able to get, if he used his dash action, 15 feet to get off the screen, he would be away from you, I would say 80 or so feet away.
There's a part of me that wants to do something really dumb and make use of something that I've had kind of in my back pocket for a while.
Do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah?
Do that.
So there's not much of a ceiling here, right? Like, it's a pretty cavernous space.
Oh yes, the cavern itself stretches for maybe hundreds and hundreds of feet high.
Well, that storm rune you gave me lets me cast Call Lightning once per long rest, or once per day. So, and I believe it's set the DC to 15. 15,
Yes.
just arbitrarily.
Yes, that is the set DC.
So, yeah, I'm gonna point my axe, close one eye like I'm aiming, and a storm cloud will appear, and a lightning bolt will crack down.
Alrighty. You will watch as a storm cloud begins to form in the cavern, and it begins to rumble. As a bolt of lightning will streak down from the cloud, impacting the area where the Nothic is running towards. So let's go ahead and roll a dexterity saving throw here. Hang on. Is that, wait?
That did something wrong. There's 2 Ds there, and it
Yeah.
looks like it just took the number 1 and said, you know what?
Gosh darn it.
1. It said, you know what? 1 is a good number. Yes.
That is a 17, so we'll take half, but go ahead and roll the damage. It was still damaged.
Yeah, not that much, but
Still, a message if there ever was one. As the Nothic is slightly singed and is blown back slightly by the impact. With a 19, that will definitely hit Skanuk. Go ahead and roll your damage.
That'll be 19 fire damage.
Is now remind me, is that is it 3d10 at this level? Is that calculation doing that?
Yes.
Okay, just
Oh, so it'd actually be 20 because I have elemental atoms.
Ah,
That's correct.
excellent. That is what you needed to kill it. As soon as the bolt of lightning streaks down, it knocks the Nothic off of its feet into the air, and the bolt of fire soars past, impacting the Nothic in the chest as it is propelled backward 10 or so 15 feet, and then it's just begins to do a little bit of a death roll as it suddenly comes to a stop and is no longer moving.
Wombo combo off.
If it survived, I was totally prepared to psychic glance it.
I had stuff prepared too. I was gonna call on Snar's sister.
This poor Nothic.
Poor nothing.
He never had a chance.
None of them did.
Well, Villain will kind of like clap her hands as she kind of dusts off her fingers, kind of like shaking away the static. Rolls her sleeves back down. I do enjoy a little bit of exercise of power. Well, now that that's out of the way, how about we continue searching for those rituals for the Arcane Architect? We at least have a bit of a headway now. We know that the rituals themselves lie in each of the towers belonging to the different schools of magic that dot the city. That I at least know.
Well, if that's the case, what would the tree be?
The tree itself is not quite a tower, perhaps, but we at least know its wand is part of it. So seemingly, one of these steps in one of these towers involves the wand in some way.
Oh, that makes sense.
At least that's my theory.
Maybe there are other things that are involved needed before we go to other towers?
Well, unless we know what we're looking for, it might be a bit of a... It would take more time to do so. It's not saying it's not a good idea, it's just if we don't know what we're looking for, we're just sort of wasting time, as it were. And considering the more time we spend here, the more we risk gaining whatever that curse is. Time is of the essence. Not to mention, she kind of steps forward. Now that Avarice is here and has probably been scared stiff, I don't think she'll want to fight us head on anymore. If so, she'll probably either strike from the shadows or attempt to salvage some of those rituals on her own. It's a bit of a race now to see if we can find them before she does.
Let's get going.
Does that mean I get to
Big
fly again?
If you so desire, I have one more of those. Actually, no. Technically, I can do that a second time if I use my most powerful spell slot to do so. So technically, I can do it for you 2 more times this day.
How about we walk for now, and when we need to get the hell out of the city for the night, we'll use the flying trick.
Sounds good to me.
That is valid. Alright, so... I will say... She kind of takes a good stock around. She was going to make a perception check of her own. If I can find the dice I was going to use for that. Okay. So from my current position... She kind of starts like looking around, kind of like pointing fingers at certain buildings. I see 1... 2... 3... and 4 towers. Each of those towers, I'm looking at them, there's a large symbol on the very top of the spires. They each have a symbol corresponding to one of the schools of magic. There might be more on the opposite side of the city, but this is what I can see from my current perspective. The one here, I recognize that symbol. That is a symbol of abjuration magic. Magic that's meant to protect. Or defend. The one here, I recognize that symbol as a symbol of transmutation. One that's meant to either change living or non-living matter. Temporarily or permanently. This one, that tower is a bit strange. That misty sort of fog that's coming off of it, and the symbol lead me to believe that is the Tower of Illusion. And she kind of turns more towards the east. That's a bit farther away. I can't quite make out the symbol on that one, but I recognize it is a magical one, but I don't recognize it. The tower is slightly turned away. It's a bad angle. But I at least recognize the ones immediately in our vicinity. I believe some other towers are this way and some are this way, I believe. But I can't quite make out the symbols if they are on the towers.
What kind of magic sounds most interesting to do first?
Well, I'm a bit biased. I don't see the Tower of Necromancy around here, so I can't recommend that one. I personally find that very, very exciting. But
Honestly, I'd rather do the necromancy one first, because that way Avarice doesn't have a chance at it, and I don't want her to have that.
Well, I don't see the Necromancy Tower. It might be further to the west of the city. But if I was to hazard a guess, I would say the most interesting would personally be transmutation, if only because I find the study of changing matter to be quite interesting. Illusion can be fun, but sometimes it amounts more to parlor tricks than anything. Definitely not my own personal bias.
Then let's do that first, then.
Very well.
Let's get that transmutating done.
Very well. Let us march onward then. All right. So it's a bit of a quick. Yeah, go ahead. Were you gonna say something?
I was just like making travel music. Hex crawl. Boo doo 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 doo.
Hex.
Wait.
It's a hex crawl.
Wait. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I just realized something.
What did you realize?
A background feature might actually be useful here.
Oh yeah.
Really? Well, well, well.
Hmm.
What do we have here? Could it be a background feature actually coming into use in a D&D game?
I kind of have used mine a little bit.
For the viewers watching, we definitely don't have any biases against certain features of D&D 5th edition. Even though we love the system, there are certain things that we feel could be improved upon. That's it.
This one's come into use a bit.
Oh, that's true.
It has.
Hox's discovery was how we knew about the Jarl moot.
Yep.
That's true.
Hmm.
Also true.
Very true.
Ah, there we go.
Huh. Wow.
I have tried my best to integrate your backgrounds in as much as I can. I feel like maybe some I might not have done it as well as others, but I've tried.
There's just not many cities in this campaign.
Yeah.
And also, there's not much call to be moving through cities quickly in any campaign. But now, here we are.
Here we
needing
are.
to.
I will say, with this in mind, now that you've gotten a better look at the city, Skinnock, you're starting to see certain patterns in the architecture and the way the cities are structured. It seems like the flow of the cities, it is definitely meant to be more of an urban sprawl. It seems to be organized by blocks. And you figure certain blocks have certain distances that you think can be exploited if you take certain shortcuts around certain sections. And by exploiting those, you manage to find a secret kind of secret shortcut of some kind. With that, you manage to use some of the alleyways to cut down on your exploration time. What would have been perhaps maybe 5 or so minutes instead becomes a little bit shorter, considering it was quite close to the Skydock. Actually, no, it was around that time. It's a bit of a short walk anyway, but you managed to make it even shorter. But with that in mind, it'll probably make the rest of the city exploration a lot easier. In which case, the only thing that would really matter for you guys time-wise is thoroughly exploring an area, which would definitely take more time. But as for just traveling, you've got it in the bag. That said, though, you come upon this tower as it rises before you straight as an arrow. You see a faint light is shining from the spire's highest window, and a hairline crack creeps up its walls like ivy. These cracks kind of covering the outside of the tower, almost like a hairline fracture, just spiraling like a spider's web up and down the tower.
Is it supposed to be like that?
I would imagine not. Villain kind of steps upward. Most likely this was done probably during the fall. But I will notice that it's a bit... I would say go ahead and make an investigation check, everyone, for anyone who wants to.
Investigating what? Trying to figure out
Investigating the cause.
cause. Okay.
Let's see, 12, 14, 28. I will say for...
I've had advantage, not that it helped.
Meepo and Scales, as you're looking upon this damage, you definitely notice that the structural damage, much like Villain had mentioned, is not consistent with the structural damage to the surrounding area, but you're not sure of what the cause might be. Skinnock, you've seen damage like this before? In certain inventions that you've had, internal components that exploded on the inside sometimes cause damage like this to the outside. You wager something within the tower must have caused this, either through great blunt force trauma or something of a similar nature. But it had to have been inside the tower, you feel. So, do with that information as you will.
So the inside's probably a bit more messed up than the outside. Does it look particularly unstable?
The tower doesn't look unstable. It's literally just that one fracture that is kind of just spiraling outward like a spider's web. But otherwise, it looks surprisingly intact.
Okay.
Which sort of further proves the theory that you had. It must be structurally internal, whatever the damage is. It probably looks worse on the inside than the outside, you imagine. But there is an easy access. There is a doorway that is... it is closed, but it is the only entryway you see into the tower. Well, no time to waste. Then we'll kind of stride upward towards the door. I don't suppose anyone wants to check the door for traps?
That's not my expertise.
If I
You
just
gotta stealth
animated
up.
the door and had it open itself, would it trigger a trap?
What was that, Scales?
I was mumbling to myself, if I were to animate the door, we're not opening it, it's opening itself for us. So would that trigger the trap?
I believe it still would, yes. If the door is moving, it would trigger any sort of mechanism that would trigger upon an opening of the door, yes.
But what if the person who trapped the door wanted to get through the door? Would they have to disarm it from the other side without knowing really, like, or how would they disarm it on their side if it was on the other side?
That's a good question. Either the lock might be a magical means where it's a spoken password, if it is a matter of a magical nature. If it's not, and it's more of a physical trap, most likely there is some sort of disarming mechanism such as a hoop, a hook, rope, something along those lines that is not visible to us on our side.
Is it even trapped though?
I don't know. That's why I was asking if anyone was going to try and look.
I could just chop a hole in the wall.
That could
Okay.
also.
Alternately, we have a skeleton.
Villain looks towards her minion. Yes, we do.
So, he can open doors, right?
If I command him to, yes.
So you're gonna command him to open the door, right?
There's a pause.
I mean, you don't have to, but it's better if his arm's blown off than ours, right?
Minion, open the door.
Oh, I didn't even have to make my next trump card promise.
You folded too soon.
We had so much more haggling to do.
No, I believe, as much as I would like to keep this minion, you have made valid points in the past, and I don't believe that I need to. Well, let's just say I trust your judgment.
I'm sure we can find more. If there's cultists running around the city, we can find you more skeletons.
Canuck, don't you have stuff for getting rid of traps though?
Ah, I guess I might. I could try and, pick the. I could maybe try and pick the door and all that.
Before you can muster that, though, the command was given, and the skeleton reaches towards the door, and jiggles the handle, pulls the door open, and nothing happens.
Well, that solves that.
Indeed it does. Onward, then.
I'll bet it was poisoned.
Villain looks towards the skeleton's hands. There's
Don't
no...
lick the door.
Minion, lick the door. I'm just kidding. It's not physically possible. Minion, follow me, and
Yes, or something.
she'll go up the stairs.
It sets its face up against the wall and just stands there.
The mouth just stretches and goes over the doorknob.
And we
Hawks,
step
can
over
you
those
fit?
thresholds.
Can you fit in?
If I squeeze, I can use one of these uses of the Enlarge and Reduce spell to become temporarily just large.
Which you will have to do if you wish to squeeze inward.
Nah, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
You think I'm gonna miss out on a little bit of adventure?
Yeah, it's mostly just the door that you need to squeeze through. The interior of the tower is somewhat cushy, a little bit cozy. You could manage to walk up the now spiraling staircase without too much trouble as a large creature, but it's just the initial doorway that's a hassle. With that, though, you all...
I guess if worse comes to worse, you could always break a wall down.
That is also true. But you all make the ascent towards the top part of the tower. And eventually you come across another door, but this one is ajar, and is slightly broken off of its hinges. As you look upon it, it seems to have been buckled outward towards your direction. As you kind of like peek inside, you will notice that the tower's interior walls of this room are sculpted with impressions of humanoid forms pressing out from within, clawing hands and howling faces, captured in stone forever.
Oh, that's ominous.
Yeah, there's definitely nothing wrong with that at all. Yes, for further description, these humanoid forms are all around the inside of the tower, specifically this room in particular. And what else is interesting is that in the corner of the room, unlike the other figures, which are sort of trapped within the walls of the tower themselves, this is a statue that is on its own in the middle of the room, but it is knocked over. It is made completely out of adamantine. It seems to be in the shape of a female mage, who apparently looks to be in like the middle of casting a spell of some kind. But you see that there is a whole bunch of structural damage in the interior of the tower. You see, as mentioned before, there is great evidence to suggest that either this statue or something else in this tower caused great structural damage. Because you see, there are portions of the tower where some of the faces and the hands outstretched are smashed in completely, and you can see small fragments of the outside through the hairline cracks, I should say. Flynn will kind of step forward, just tiptoeing over the statue. I just hope that doesn't come alive. I'm just going to ignore that.
You think it's like a statue or a petrified person?
I would not be surprised if it was a petrified person. It looks surprisingly lifelike, and looks like if it was someone, looks to be as if they were in the middle of completing a spell of some kind. The gesturing, the posture, all seems to be accurate. Adamantine, though, that's different. Villain will kind of like spy something. I do see something here. There's an inscription on the wall here. Oh, drat, but it's damaged. You all can see this inscription as she points it out. It is written in Draconic. And as you all kind of look in that direction, it reads the following. 8th, stand firm in thy circle of death and consume. But the last word is damaged. It has been broken off, no doubt, from the impact of the statue. So I will write that out in chat.
Okay. Probably what's called a pro-gamer move.
I actually started making notes as you started reading it, so I feel like I'm just one step ahead of what I normally am.
I'm 4 parallel universes ahead of you.
No, I just normally go 5 minutes later. Hey, we should have written that inscription down.
Yep.
This time I was like, hey, I want to write that inscription down. And then you said, I'll write that down for you. I was like, oh.
So here it is. 8th, stand firm in thy circle of death and consume blank.
Circle of death and consume. Circle of death and consume.
Do any of them look like they're consuming something?
None of them do, no. They all seem to be screaming, outstretched hands, clawing for some sort of comfort, protection, but no sort of act of consuming. I will say, go ahead and roll investigation investigation checks for me as you search the room.
How old is the damage on the inscription, by the way?
About as old as most of the rest of the structural damage. I will say this investigation check is pertinent to what you're about to find. 15, 18, 15. Okay, you notice that there are fragments of stone that do have hairline fractures that appear to have, almost like a jigsaw puzzle, a word written on them. But they are fragmented in such a way that they cannot be determined.
Well, this is why we have magics.
Indeed. Would you like to cast Mending?
I would. Go cast again.
Indeed. And unlike paper that has been lost to time, the wording is still very much intact on these fragments. And as you take the time to cast the Mending spell, you structure and piece the fragments together, one crack by one crack. And eventually the word comes to you.
I think this part goes on the left.
Indeed,
No, your other left.
You accidentally, fragmented for a second. It's like, consume puppies. It's like, wait, no, that's not right. Wait, you turn your head to the upside down. Oh, no, it's the other word. Consume poison.
I told you it was poisoned.
So, I will write that down. The missing word is poison.
Does anyone have, stone shape?
I do not, Villain says.
Not today. And we're in a rush.
I was thinking we could, have this say acid instead.
We could change one of the other words on the walls if we had that. Could have said pour out poison or circle of life or something.
Yeah. Well, we can always just take this big block of text with us, I guess.
Right, we do have a big axe.
I guess that's true. You want me to smash something?
Did we put the sort of jigsaw word back on the wall, or did we just have a slab of wall?
You put it back on the wall with the mending. The mending fixed it, essentially.
That's easily fixed.
Or we could use the statue instead of your axe.
It did break it the last time, technically.
Although, I'm not sure we want to move that.
I don't know. He might appreciate it. Different scenery. I'm assuming it's some sort of weird petrification, honestly.
I would leave that up to you, and while I would like to foil my rival, very much so, I struggle in the endeavor of damaging ancient ruins. But I understand if it needs to be done.
Villain dies inside.
Could we remove it and put it somewhere?
possible.
We can try.
Is there anything else we need in here? I think that's if that's the last thing, we ought to go down to the next tower if there's nothing else in here.
I would agree. There doesn't seem to be anything much of use in here. Mostly just the inscription. Though the statue is a curiosity, but it is a very heavy and not very useful curiosity.
Do we have any poison with us?
Yes. We have so much. We have so much poison.
Got any that's like kind of weak?
Weak poison, no.
You have poison with you, Mr. Skinner.
Oh, you know, this and that. You pick things up when you fight Drow, apparently.
Ah, yes, that's right. I believe Drow are usually known for carrying that specific kind of poison to them. Very, very smart. Very smart.
I think a bottle of Dwergar liquor counts as poison.
Oh, that
I
stuff
mean,
does.
Well, then, thanks for a minute.
The mushroom stuff?
Yeah.
It would certainly be worth attempting when we do the ritual.
Do you even know what it's talking about? You think it's just part of a riddle that's in each tower?
Well, if it says the 8th, then likely that is the last and final step.
Mm.
So, we found the last step, so now we just need to find the other previous steps.
Maybe we should have said it first, sit and drink the poison and given it to her.
That would have been funny. But I will leave that decision up to you. If you wish to re-damage the message, up to you.
I don't have any way of doing it.
Yeah, so I guess we could like try to like, scratch, not scratch, but like carve out like a square and take the, blur words. We could like cut a section of it out of the instructions out and just take that with us if we didn't want to damage it too badly.
Do you have any stonemason's tools?
I could get some.
I believe either Hawks or you had some at one point that we were using in the Kobold mine. Or maybe that was a different type of tools.
That's
I
what
have Smith's tools.
Ah, that's what it was.
oh yes, right to yeah, that's what it is. So I can just kind of make tools.
It takes an hour though.
Oh, that's true.
We have an axe.
We do have Adamantine Axe. We could use that, in theory.
Yeah, you could. It would be less precise, but definitely. Do you wish to attempt so, Hawks?
Well,
That seems more like an attack roll than a dexterity check. So I assume all this is happening. You're just gonna straight chop into there.
no, I'll do it dexterously. I'm mostly making the.
You just want to do the bob.
The meme.
It was a point.
All right. So I'll take the attack roll into consideration if you fail this roll,
Oh no.
which you did.
Ah,
Okay, bopping
is there
time.
a
So you slashed.
Me.
You slashed down on the message, thinking, okay, no, this will be fine. You're just gonna do a little bit more dexterously, but then you slip. And considering how big you are than usual, it's getting like the right balance is difficult. You just kind of end up chopping through the tower by accident. The good news is that it still succeeds and that it damages the message, but you can't carry it around with you anymore.
You wrote that down, right, Skinner?
Yes. While I hurry over to the bio section.
I wrote it down on mine. I just making the joke because I know Skinnock has a piece of paper or stacks of paper he carries around with him.
Hew. That's why you take notes. Villain just internally cringing the entire time.
We can probably fix that later if we need to.
I'd rather not think about it. Let's just go. Next tower. Illusion.
Let's go to the one. Let's go to the one you couldn't identify.
Yes, the one to the far east. Yes.
I'm curious about that one anyway.
Yes, indeed. There are some. I will note that there are some very interesting-looking buildings as we're walking, as we're starting to walk again. As at this point, you have now descended on the tower. There's a particular hall I'm seeing right over here. Has a bit of a glass dome to it. It looks quite intriguing. And there's a tower here that almost looks like a bagpipe of some kind. Like the way that the towers are pointed upwards, it almost looks like an instrument the way that they're shaped. Quite interesting architecture, I will point out as we're walking.
Were there any buildings over here that we were interested in going checking out?
But there was I
Before
believe
that?
we did notice there was a museum of some kind over in this direction. I believe we had identified that.
That could be useful.
Indeed. We'll come back to it, though, I believe. Once we've sussed out what this tower is, I believe we can go back for that. Especially because our good friend Mr. Skinnock here makes the traveling time a bit easier. He seems to have figured out a way around the city. She says as we all see Skinnock. How are you flavoring this background feature, Skinnock? Do you want to add like a little pizzazz to it?
It comes with just like an innate understanding of like dingy alleyways and sewers.
This alleyway will definitely lead us in the right direction. I'm 100% sure of it. Goes through. That was the most disgusting alley I've ever seen in my life. Hey, but we're there.
60% of the time, it works every time.
Exactly.
In any case, let's see. You guys are traveling over there. Ba-doop, ba-doop, ba-doop. Do-do, do-do, do. At this point in time, you do have to scamper up. There is a point in time where you do leave the actual city itself. Well, sorry, not the city itself. But rather, you escape the urban aspect of the city and start having to traverse the actual glacier itself. Is you kind of have to use all of your tools that you're supposed to climb up that, which does take some extra time. But other than that, you do reach your destination. And the tower itself, which is on. I followed your advice of marking a chart for me, so now I have it right here at my ready. This particular tower you're noticing, considering its location, ice has engulfed the lower floors of this tower and is now crumbling before it, you see. There is a pink light that pours out of its highest window, a single point of illumination in this dark and out-of-the-way region of the city.
Oh.
A small beacon of light in an otherwise dark portion. Bit of an extra climb to this one, but... I'm looking, and I'm noticing that there is no door on this one. Looks like it's all crumbled away.
Can you see the symbol?
Yes, I can see it now. It's a symbol of the School of Enchantment, influencing the mind.
Maybe there is a door and we've just been enchanted to not see it.
No, that's illusion. Pay attention, Hawks.
Maybe it's an illusion that this is the Tower of Enchantment.
A stretch, but I'm willing to admit that might be a possibility. I'm going to go
What if
inside
it's
the
an
building.
illusion that we're in the city at all?
I am not going to entertain this. I'm just going to go inside the house. The tower, please. Please follow.
It's all a dream.
No more of this talk of caves and dreams, please. No more stone giant nonsense.
Oh wait, no, it can't be a dream because we're in a cave, so this is real.
Exactly. This is all real, except for the illusions that we've been enchanted with.
Villain is already inside the tower.
She's got her hand on her.
Oh,
She's already gone.
Okay, let's go in.
Alrighty.
Wait, we found a door?
There was no door. It has long since crumbled away. You saw.
Oh, okay, no door. There was a doorway though. Okay,
A doorway, yes.
I see.
Which, of course,
Please.
Hawks would have to shrink down again in order to fit through. But otherwise.
Meh.
Which, by the way, Hawks, you also gain another foot.
Boy. How big does that mean Hawks is generally? Now 18 feet 9 inches.
You gain 1 more point of strength.
Oh boy. Oh, that I accidentally almost set my strength to 212 instead of 22.
oh,
All of my strength and all of my might.
how did you die?
Not easily.
My constitution score was really low in spite of my strength.
A city had to fall on me.
Never
Yes, I
done
know.
Constitution.
I know, a +6 to strength.
Yeah, boy.
That's terrifying.
What's your score at right now?
22.
22. Okay. Cool. Alright, so as you begin to ascend the tower, the interior walls are completely covered in draconic scrawling. It is crudely written with the same pitch over and over and over again. And it is written in blood. You all can read this, because you all innately know Draconic. All work and no play make Elvira a dull girl. And the floor is strewn with pitch-covered buckets and mops frozen stiff by the cold.
I'm starting to hear the Sorcerer's Apprentice just playing in my head.
I think that might be something copyrighted.
It's called inspiration.
Oh, I know.
I know. Don't blame me. Blame the book.
I'm just talking about the music itself.
Look. If
I don't want the stream to be flagged for anything.
Look, if the mouse wants to come at me because I mumbled Sorcerer's
I know.
Apprentice, then I have some words that I want to say, but I'm not going
The
to do
mouse
it.
was already there.
The mouse was
Mouse.
already here.
The mouse knows.
The mouse always knows.
It's always goes
Instead
after
of
it. Anyway,
instead of the house always wins, it's the mouse always wins.
it's true.
Yep.
He does. House of Mouse.
All right, it's okay. I know we're playing D&D. I want to go on a small tangent. That was a great show. House of Mouse.
It was.
It was a fantastic
Sure
show.
was. Wonderful.
Yeah, it's
agree.
all the villains, all the characters, all getting together one place and actually interacting. They somehow got some of the
Yep.
voice actors back for some of
Yep.
them. Fantastic. Anyway, sorry. Back to the game.
What's a shame is that it's not anywhere available, even though they have an entire platform just to stick it on and have it sit there.
I know,
they
it's,
wanted.
it's a shame. It's a crying shame.
crying shame.
But,
Anyway,
anyway,
if you want to, you can go ahead and do that. Disney.
indeed. If only they would.
Yes, I said the name. I said the word.
You
Okay.
said the words. But anyway, sorry.
So we have to go into hiding now.
Ah, no.
Yes, that's me.
Um,
Hey guys, I'm
practice.
streaming from my cabin in the woods at undisclosed coordinates.
They'll find you
Just-
anyway.
Just for future reference, the Sorcerer's Apprentice, the music is public domain since the author or the composer died in 1935.
Wow.
No.
It became public domain in 2005.
Hmm.
Well,
Music is different than other
Disease.
stuff, I guess.
Disney be slipping, I suppose, on their lobbying.
Paul Dukas was a French composer. Wrote Sorcerer's Apprentice in 1897 and died in 1935.
Music is one of the things that I don't know much about copyright laws, so I would have known otherwise that the generally speaking it's 25 I think is around when the copyright for other things goes up, but music I don't know.
Music is 70 years.
Gosh, it's such a long period
What
of
an
time.
arbitrary number, though.
Right.
Well, it'll change when Disney wants that to be copyrighted.
Yeah. All right. Side tangent over. Let's get back into the game. So,
It's almost like we were overcome by an enchantment for a second there.
Weird.
yeah, weird. Yeah, as you all break out of your strange reverie. Oh, that was weird. Let's not revisit that. But there must have been some sort of strange enchantment with the words. Anyway,
What did it say at the bottom?
It's not important. It's not important.
Everywhere, the thing about make somebody a dull boy, girl.
Oh yes,
person?
it read to you: all work and no play make Elvira a dull girl.
Elvira. Okay. Like right when you said that, either it broke up or something like popped in my ear or something, and I didn't hear the word.
Gotcha. But there is more words, as suddenly the writing in blood suddenly becomes clear above a doorway at the very top of the tower in the stairway, reading "The Crown Knows All" in Draconic. The doorway is open before you. Do you go inside?
Crown. Yeah, I'll have to squeeze through here. I'm just gonna squeeze my way through here.
The tower creaks. But you squeeze through just fine. All of you, single file, go into the room. The pink glow, and the source of it becomes more apparent, as you see, in the back of the tower, an elderly woman sits rigidly on a black throne, shrouded in ice. She wears a crown of entwined iron tentacles, and her forehead is bruised where the band fits tightly against her skull. You notice that there is an inscription decorating the wall behind her, but you would have to get closer to read them.
I'd like to take a look.
You want to be invisible?
I mean, I could, pull the blindfold over my eyes. Well, if I can't see them, they can't see me, right? No, that's not how that
I
works.
just did.
Sure, I'll be invisible. You wanna?
Well then, I will make you invisible, just in case. I don't know if they've got something like what you've got, but I don't think it'll hurt. Where is my feature? There it is.
Very well. In that case, I see. Yes. With a shadowy touch, you, Hagnar, become shrouded, invisible to the naked eye. So, if you would like, make a stealth check then. I believe straight because you are wearing heavy armor, correct?
I am wearing heavy armor. Let me just double check and see. Yeah, it's just normal plate, so.
Alright, this will be a straight roll then.
Here's the spell, just for people's benefit.
Alright.
So I won't be visible, but I also won't be particularly sneaky. Someone will know that I'm there, but they won't be able to see me.
Correct.
They can't target you with a lot of spells.
Indeed. As you're walking around, you notice the tower begins to creak with each individual step that you take, very loudly. And the figure, the eyes dart sort of in your general direction, where she hears the sound, but otherwise says nothing. The eyes just kind of like dart rapidly around the room, as if searching for something. Oh. She seems to be staring in your direction. Well, you don't know if she sees you per se, or if she's just looking where you might be. It's hard to say.
Ox dabs invisibly.
There is no reaction. She cannot see you.
Cool.
But with that, you are able to go to the back of the room and you're able to read the inscription Nestle. In Draconic, it reads this: Fourth, coax a secret from another. I'll write that down.
Let me just sneak by you real quick here, and I'll get a stone back here. Fox kind of mutters to himself as he creeps around invisibly, but very not quietly.
She doesn't seem to register your presence anymore. She is still sort of looking, but either she is unable to speak, or is choosing not to speak. It is hard to say. Make a medicine check for me. Natural 20. Whatever is affecting her, she seems to be stunned, if I was to say the actual condition aloud. But it seems like her physical and mental responses are dulled by whatever is happening to her, and she is unable to actually... You don't think she could actually prevent you from doing anything, even if she tried.
Considering what the message is that the crown was important, can I get a closer up look at her crown?
Sure. For a better description, the crown is seemingly made of some sort of iron-like metal that is so tightly squeezed around her skull that there is bruising. It is very intricately detailed, and I believe I said before that the pink light was coming from her. That was actually incorrect. The pink light is actually coming from some sort of continual sort of fire that is surrounding the room. But the crown itself does seem to have some strange look to it.
I'm tempted to try and remove it. Yeah, I think mentally Hawks would not necessarily hesitate to try and remove it at this point.
Okay. Let me see here. Well, if you're going to try and remove it, I would like you to make a wisdom saving throw for me. Because as you touch the crown, you feel this strong sensation to wear it. It is alluring. Just as much as the situation is.
I'm going to use an Indomitable to reroll that.
Okay.
There we go.
I am going to back that up. Oh wait, no. Can I not? I can't see him, can I?
You can't see him, unfortunately. He is invisible.
Let me check the rules of Flash machines.
So
Please
that
do.
turned into a 15.
15. All right. Let
Yeah,
me.
okay, so that's what you
So you do have to be able to see them?
Yep.
Okay. So, you resist for a moment, Hawks. But the temptation is too strong. There is a little bit of tugging that you have to do, and a little bit of blood is drawn as the crown is removed from this person's head. And as you remove it, there's a gasp. Mela saran tarakaras. Oh, wait, I understood what she said, Professor Scant will cry out. She says, Destroy the crown. Release my memories. Let me have peace. And as Professor Scant says this, a few seconds pass, and the individual in the chair slumps forward, and they slowly turn to dust, leaving only her robes behind. Meanwhile, you, Hawks, your immediate action is to don the crown.
It's a little small for my noggin.
It is. You try and kind of force it on there, and it does slightly enlarge to kind of encapsulate your sort of enlarged state. It's more like you know those little bowler caps? It's
Maybe I could loop it around one of my horns.
yeah. That's honestly like a better kind of place to put it. But it's you think that you kind of, as you try and do that, you sort of stop yourself, as whatever effect is charming you, you're forced to put it on your scalp, which slowly shapes around the base of the skull.
Well, now that she's not here, I don't see any reason to leave Hawks invisible. I'm just gonna drop concentration.
Sure. All right, you can all see Hawks, and he is wearing the crown.
Do you like my new hat?
Not particularly. No.
Well, I like my new hat.
I'm going to just gonna one moment here. Just gonna type a little something real quick.
The hat belongs on my head. That is where it goes.
Yeah, it's a hat.
I must wear it. It fits me perfectly.
I just sent you a whisper.
What are you guys doing here? You here for my hat?
No.
What are you here for? Ah, the ritual! The ritual in the place with the thing. Yeah. That one.
I'm gonna run up to him and cast Remove Curse on him. At his level.
Just be careful around my hat. It's really nice.
Need to double check something. One moment. As you try and cast Remove Curse, it doesn't seem to remove the crown.
Snap out of it?
Snap out of what?
It.
Ah, it. Yes. That thing. What is it?
Do you remember where we are?
We're in the room where I found my new hat.
Uh-huh.
And do you remember what the person you found with the hat said to you as you took the hat and put it on your head?
Some gibberish in another language.
Fair. Do you
Guys,
remember the
I think I'm having
translation?
no, I actually think I'm kind of having problems remembering things.
Weird.
That is one of the applications of enchantment magic, which I assume. Hold on. She casts the spell really quickly. That crown is reeking of enchantment magic.
You saying I'm under an illusion?
No, I'm not.
I-
I'm not having this conversation again.
He doesn't remember the first time. I think he's trying to make a new joke.
I'll accept that answer for my own sanity. And that spell you tried to cast, Meepo, that didn't work?
No, it didn't do anything. So it's not a curse. It's just a magical effect, I guess.
That's unfortunate. It might need something more powerful than that.
Well, I hate to say this, big guy, but I think someone's put a curse on your hat.
Oh man, that's the worst kind of thing to have happen to your hat.
I think we're gonna need to get rid of it.
I'm sure we can probably fix it somehow.
Well, I don't want to get rid of the hat. So, I mean, if you could make the hat better, is there like a hat doctor we could take it to?
I don't know about a hat doctor, but I'm an artificer. I specialize in all sorts of magical items.
All
I
right,
can see
Doc.
that.
I'm putting the health of my hat in your hands.
All right,
Hey.
Dr. Skinnock, how do you wish to approach the situation?
All right. First I'm going to cast Identify.
Okay. So you take the time to identify the crown. So, as you imagine, the crown is cursed. However, given the fact that Meepo's remove curse did not work, you imagine the enchantment behind it either has a different source that doesn't allow the crown itself to be the target of such a spell, or it's too powerful an artifact for the remove curse to take effect. So, either the crown must be destroyed, or you must trick someone else to wear the crown. However, the memories you assume that are being siphoned away as you're looking into this crown will be permanently absorbed by the crown unless it is destroyed, in which case, in that moment of destruction, all memories taken by the crown will go back to their original owners.
I see. Does the compulsion aspect
There is, in fact, a compulsion that you are seeing. If a creature touches the crown, they also might fall victim to whatever happened to Hawks, and they'll be forced to wear the crown and be charmed by it.
see?
There's also a very nasty effect. If someone wears the crown for an hour, a creature has the possibility to be stunned until the crown is removed, or until they try again to resist the effect of the crown. If someone wears this crown for 10 uninterrupted days, given the effect that's been going on, you can assume that condition would become permanent, reducing the crown to a mindless husk, as has happened to whatever happened to Miss Elvira here, you assume. However, even though the remove curse didn't work, there are spells that restore lost memories, such as that of a Greater Restoration spell. Something such as that could reverse the effects of the crown.
I see. So if the crown is removed from, if the crown is no longer touching someone, do they still have the compulsion?
They do.
Interesting.
Unless someone else gets the compulsion and puts it on their head. In that case, the compulsion ends.
So
the
if you
original
pass the save, it doesn't change from person to person.
Correct.
If you fail it, it does.
Mm-hmm.
I'm casting Calm Emotions to temporarily stop the charm effect.
Oh, yes, that would work. Yes,
Using Votary of Eldeath.
I would need Hawks to make a saving throw against that because you don't want to stop being charmed, Hawks.
Well, okay, so I figured out what we gotta do. First thing, we need to suppress the curse, and my friend here has a spell that can do that.
Oh, save DC 17.
I've already used my Indomitable, so I can't. Yeah.
There it is.
Woot.
Man, your hat's been taking your memories, man. What a bad hat.
I need to get this thing. Can you guys help me? Well, don't want you to touch it. What is your name again? You there, guy with the machines and the stuff.
I
You
am
said you
Scott.
could. Yes, that guy. Is there any way we could destroy this thing?
Yeah, go ahead and take it off, and then I'll get to work on that. I guess if you just like put it on the ground, Scott starts pulling out items. How would we destroy a magical artifact? It doesn't come up that often.
It doesn't come up from because usually something of this power must be destroyed in a specific manner, and identify would not be enough to know that. Unfortunately. Most likely, Villain will say, there must be a way to destroy the crown in the city. If it was created here, perhaps somewhere in the city we might find a way to destroy it.
So how long does it happen until he has another chance to...
Let's see. He has an hour before he has to try and resist being stunned by the crown.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So what we can do is we can time that to give him like emboldened bond and flash of genius, and then we can, in the meantime, we can like put the crown in a baggie or something to carry it with us, so that no one's touching it. But we have it in case we find the way to destroy it.
You guys should keep your eyes out for any incense, especially if it looks expensive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, it's
You think-
off for the time being. I feel like a little bit is coming back, but I don't remember anyone's names right now. I'm sorry. We've been traveling together this whole time, and I feel like I've never asked.
Well, I'm Skanuk. You're Hawks.
Oh, I know my name.
Miko Molo.
Villain Hapel.
Ah, yes. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I don't remember any of them still. Sorry. Anywho, I'll just call you Cleric, and you can be Artificer, and you can be... What's your name again? Sorry, this has put me in a real weird fog.
Let's get going.
Yes. The sooner that we find some source to destroy this crown, I think the better we'll be off for it.
You think the museum will have any cute clues?
Possibly. Either the museum or maybe the Tower of Abjuration. The School of Abjuration is meant to protect against detrimental effects.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, there was some writing up there that I was going to tell you, and I've forgotten what it said.
Go ahead, Skinner.
I was just said, oh. So
I mean, we could just walk right over there and read it.
yeah. So,
Now, the apparent whatever the threat was not in fact a threat. Villain will stride over. And she will read out what I said before. Fourth, coax a secret from another.
What's it say?
Fourth,
Coax a secret. Okay. So you have to get someone else to tell you a secret. Any sudden secrets you might have, just keep them in your pocket for the time being until we do the ritual.
yes, anyone has a sudden backstory secret they wish to claim, keep it to yourself.
Oh, even if I did, I wouldn't remember it right now.
Shit. Alright, good to know. All the more reason to find a way to remove that effect.
It's tell someone a secret. That's what it said.
Yes, or rather,
Get someone
try
to
and
tell you a secret.
yes, get someone to tell you a secret. So let's not waste any time then. Villain will start going down the stairs and out of the tower. So now that you're out of that tower, which direction do you wish to go then? So there is still the museum, the Tower of Abjuration, the Tower of Illusion, or whatever this place is right here, the domed ceiling, or this strange hall that looks like a musical instrument. There's also of course, the obelisk up here, which I think you want to stay away from. There's also, Villain will notice with the angle, actually, hold on. I recognize that symbol up there. That is the symbol of evocation. Let me draw a circle here. Yeah, so this up here, yes, yes, I recognize it. Yes, that's definitely the symbol of evocation, for certain.
Let's go either to the museum or to Abjuration. Those seem like our best bets.
The museum is on the way. So we could stop at the museum first and then head to the Tower of Abjuration. Very well, let's not waste any time. I say as I'm wasting time. Can you tell I'm getting nervous? I'm not nervous, you're nervous. Flynn kind of steady herself as she starts walking with the rest of you.
See, now I think your memories are having problems. My name is Hawks, not Nervous.
She gives you a very withering look, but says nothing.
I'd just like to point out that it is not entirely clear how much of this is Hawks' memories actually failing, and how much of this is the fact that he's actually quite literally partially insane. Yes. There's a...
Go ahead.
The prompt I have been given in terms of like getting harder to remember things didn't specify any specific memories or anything of the sort. So this is
I see how it is.
A lot of this might just be Hawks.
Not surprised.
Okay. Give me a moment. Let's see here. So, as you all are walking along the city streets, you notice, as the ice begins to part, you come across a wonderful little park, which appears to just be completely torn asunder. There are some trees that are still rooted to the ground, but others have been torn and petrified, long since destroyed in ages past. Currently, though, you see another group of those Majin, those artificial people. They are currently walking along one of the roads across a bridge. And as the road that you're kind of traveling down, you determined that this little parkway was a nice little detour to get you to your destination faster. But currently they are on the same road that you are, and they are heading your direction. What do you do?
Well, we can try to hide, but Hawks is 20 feet tall.
Indeed. I will note there are about 5 of those heavily armored Majin, and then 1 of those robe-bearing Majin at the forefront, currently leading a small procession.
see. Maybe try to like go around, I guess.
You
So
can certainly
like
try.
a street over or two.
Yeah,
Sound
there
good
is
with everyone?
some. Sorry, there is some rubble and there are some trees that might block vision. You could try and go around, but it is a very wide open area. But there are certain places to hide behind. So what are you thinking?
My vote would be to try and go around. What does everyone else think?
So that's one for going around.
So going around trying to hide, or what, confronting them directly?
Seems
I
to me.
would say going around seems like the most plausible way of doing something.
Indeed. It would definitely take longer to do so, but you could do it. So, seems to be going around is one of the more popular ones. Is that is that going to be confirmed?
Confirm.
Confirm. Okay. Just want to be sure. So, you're going to try and go around them. You are very difficult to hide, especially with a giant hawk, so perhaps it was a bit of an easier decision for most of you. As you take a detour around the outskirts of the tower, sorry, not of the tower, of the park, avoiding the procession. Some of the Magian actually do tilt in their heads in your direction, but given that you are farther away from them, they don't seem to be bothered by you, and they continue on their merry way, whatever direction they were going. You seem to have avoided interacting with them. That does mean it does take some extra time to get to where you're going, but you do manage to reach your destination.
So what were those things?
It was like
So,
ghosty people in armor.
yes, indeed. So, for a description of what they had looked like before, their skin is a teal, almost turquoise kind
Oh,
of
okay, those
greenish blue.
things.
Yes,
Those things that we fought in the...
in that little
Um,
lab, the
bubble
alchemy
room.
lab. Yes.
Right. Okay.
They are the artificial people whose blood seemed to be made like mercury.
Avoiding them was probably what I would have gone with, for
Indeed.
sure.
So, I will say, in the direction to get towards the Tower of Abjuration, the museum is crossing your path. Would you like
Let's
to
check it out.
investigate inside? Alright. So, for the museum. Oh, I turned to the wrong page. I thought that was a 3, but instead it was an 8. Because apparently I can't read. My eyes are failing me. So, a palatial hexagonal building rises before you. It is crowned with a glittering domed roof. As you're approaching it, a double door on the side closest to where you're approaching from stands slightly ajar. As you start to head inside, I would like you all to make perception checks for me.
Another use of reduce.
Actually, you don't need to use reduce this time. And the doors are actually wide enough where you could squeeze in as the huge form.
Oh, what a rare convenience.
You may do so if you would like to, but you don't need to if you don't want to.
I'm going to hold on until I absolutely have to.
Okie dokie. Alright. Let's see here. Okay.
Oh, is what the inside of a room looks like? I had forgotten.
Indeed. As you're approaching the museum, you hear scratching sounds, scuffling sounds coming from within. They're not particularly loud, but you do hear them. As you approach the door, I will ask, are you trying to be particularly stealthy? The penguin, Kingsport, is still kind of like waddling behind you. He's been very silent this whole time. He seems not to know what to say most of the time, as your antics continually surprise and shock him.
I'll be here. I'll be there.
I wouldn't probably be extremely stealthy unless somebody told me we were trying to.
Fair enough, fair enough. So in that case...
I might turn over to Kingsport and say, so, you, spent a lot of time with that guy?
Oh, yes. I spent many years in his service.
And, all of this is, like, new to you? He didn't do anything weird like what we're doing?
Well, usually it was something that I could at least understand. Well, you know, it was scary, but the scary that I knew, you know? This is the kind of scary I don't know.
Fair enough. Sounds like Scales agrees with you.
Indeed. I feel we're kindred spirits, young Scales.
Oh man,
Like
when
this
did we get this peacock following us?
Sorry, what was that you said, Scales? Yeah, he's typing. Oh, that means my wording is contrived and unoriginal. Oh no! The flippers come towards his skull. Ah!
No, it's just I tend to attract all of the awakened beings.
Oh, I see. You have many people that you know that are awakened animals too?
You'll make many friends.
Oh boy, I like friends. Mostly because of the fact that I've never had any, so the thought of having one would be nice.
I can be your friend.
Great! What do friends do?
Help each other out first.
Oh great, you've already done it for me. Oh no, that means I haven't done anything for you. I'm a
It's
terrible
not right.
friend.
No, you just do it when you got something you can do. If you don't have anything you can do, you can just cheer us on.
So be there for moral support.
That'll do.
Yeah.
All right, I can do that. But anyway, if you're not stealthing as you move through the doors, immediately I will bring you to a new map. A map done, might I add, by the wonderful and talented Tessa Moorcroft on DM's Guild. Who has not only done maps for Rime of the Frostmaiden, but also for Wild Beyond the Witchlight, as well as Curse of Strahd. All wonderfully done, artistically made, handcrafted. Such as, for instance, this wonderfully handcrafted creature in the very back of this magnificent hall that resembles a long-winded funnel with all different manner of cilia and webbing all along the sides, and a large toothy maw, several layers deep within the funnel. It has 4 spindly arms that are held aloft by wires on a large central dais in the far back of the room. It's the first thing that is immediately caught to your attention. But the second thing is the source of the scuffling noises that you had heard. Specifically, 6 more of those Nothics that are currently scrounging throughout the ruins, just seemingly picking up bits and bobs of trash and trinkets that have long since been destroyed, kind of just sniffing them, tossing them over their shoulder, rummaging through, and then, all their eyes, their singular, glowing, terrifying eyes, turn towards your direction. And I'd like you all to roll initiative as they just all start rushing at you at once. Also, scales would be right here, not right next to them.
Oh, what's fighting? I've never done that before in my memory.
Gosh darn.
Says Hawks, as the line between complete BS and actual memory loss continues to be danced upon.
Alright, this time Villain will not go before the Nothics. That's fine. Also, I forgot Skelly Boy. That's fine. I'll just have him next to her. Alright, so, with that in mind, let's go ahead and bring some music back up. So, oh, I don't have the numerical value for villain. I thought I entered that. There we go. So, first up is you, Scales. What would you like to do? I see. Well, let me tell you, if there isn't the coins, there is a wide variety of objects to choose from.
I'll go ahead and animate, some of the bones from the chained down skeleton thing there.
Indeed. The only thing
And it
that's
was-
super chained down is the main torso. Most of the wing bones are kind of scattered about. I would say the bones themselves are pretty well put together. I'd say they're around medium-sized, I would say.
What about the tail? It looks pretty splintered.
I'd say you could get four small bones out of the tail.
Okay, so let's go for 4 small bones out of the tail, and 8 rocks, just scattered about. Small to tiny rocks.
Gotcha. All right, let me get some bones. Hang on. How about just singular bone? Can you get that for me? Roll 20.
Them bones.
And this will work. Let me just give permissions here. There we go. Copy that. 4 times. Oh, 3 more times. Bam, bam, bam. You should have control of those bones, and then we'll get some rocks in here. In all honesty, I think I'm just going to copy paste the coin token from the previous maps, and then have you use that.
Works for me.
All right, so let me get those. Wonderful, here they are. Copy paste that. You said how many of those rocks you said?
8, so a total of 12 objects.
Oh, did you upcast it?
Had to.
Oh, right, because you used your 5th level spore, right? Yeah. Let me know if you can move those coins. Or rocks, I should say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yep, I can control.
Okay, good. Alright.
And then, on my turn, well, That was my action to cast that spell, and then as a bonus action, I can move them and have them attack.
Alrighty. Go ahead and make some attacks. And suddenly, all the bones and the rocks in the surrounding area, basically, as one of the Nothics throws one of the rocks behind it, it suddenly stops in midair and it kind of like looks at it, and it begins to just bludgeon him. And the bones start to rattle and come off in the skeleton of the dragon and start just floating, almost like a boomerang, towards the Nothics.
Alright, so each Nothic is going to have 2 attacks against it.
Alrighty. Are you going from top to bottom, or
Let's do... starting at... that guy?
Gotcha, okay. That will definitely hit.
Clockwise.
Clockwise, gotcha. Alright. Damaged. Second one. Okay, that will also hit.
Alright, next guy up.
Yep. Oh, yep, that'll definitely hit for 5. 13 will miss, unfortunately. 16 will hit, though, for that other one. 15 just hits them, so that will hit for 6. 16 will also hit the one down there, and as will that. That will also hit. And then 11 will miss that one. But all in all, a nice even spread of damage. As all the random rubble and all the bones just begin to rattle and roll and just start bludgeoning them all.
I've got 2 more attacks.
Oh, you do? Oh, go ahead and sorry. My bad. Okay, well, the 16 will definitely get in there.
Okay, now that I've officially just demolished the action economy, it's Meepo's not Meepo, Skinek's turn.
Okie dokie. Skinak, it is your turn now.
Oh, jeez.
And all of these are constructs that are allies to us, so you have advantage if you have pack tactics.
Well,
How
let's
to
see.
break a kobold.
Let's see. Yeah, 6 enemies. It feels worth it to cast Scorching Ray. I don't know. Is it worth it to cast Scorching Ray if there's so many things bopping them? Yeah, fuck it. Scorching Ray. I'll do.
It's always worth it.
It's always worth it. Yeah, I'll do. I guess 1 into each of these 2 on the bottom right, and then 1 into this one over here.
Alright.
So, Scorch. After the advantage, actually, hang on. So 29 to hit of those 2.
No, 29 doesn't hit. Yes, it hits.
Oh dear. That does 9 damage.
Ouchie.
And then let me turn off Arcane Fire. Switching Ray 2. Dealing 8 damage to this one. Scorching Ray 3 to our guy on the left. And this one will have the Arcane Firearm, I guess. Another 29.
Ouchie.
Ooh! That'll be 17 total.
Ow. As they'll just get blasted with streaking rays of fire that arc out from the arcane firearm. They're looking pretty rough, the ones down below. The ones up top are faring a little bit better, but all in all, not looking good for them.
Cool. yeah, that'll be my turn, I guess.
All right. Meepo, that means it is your turn now.
How long has it been since Hawks was cursed?
It has not quite been an hour since that time. I'd say it's been around 20 or 25 or so minutes.
Okay,
Ah.
so we still have plenty of time. I'm not going to worry about that then, and I'm going to... I'll use my last use of Emboldening Bond, I guess. Right? Is that my last use? I even have it. There it is. Yep, last use of that. On Hawks. Skanak. And yeah, just the whole Kobold crew.
The last member of the Kobold crew. Sorry.
That's
heavy.
my action, right?
Indeed.
Then as a bonus action, I guess I'll have this.
Mm-hmm.
And just use that to increase my defense.
Gotcha. So you call
Sonar.
upon the strength of Sonar. As you hear a familiar, ah. And
I thought I'd call a mummy to the museum because it seemed to fit in.
as the form of Sonar, the mummy, whom you had rescued from his frigid tomb. His kindly form, and he just hovers around you and just gives you a warm embrace. That same embrace giving you the ample protection you need, hopefully, to survive any attacks coming your way. And you get the faint whiff of pumpkin spice that you remember him having before. But yes, you now have a +1 to your AC, and enemies have disadvantage to attack you until the start of your next turn.
Alright, that's my turn.
Alright. It's now their turn. The Nothic's turns. They're having some problems. There's some problems right here. So because they don't want to take attacks of opportunity, they're just going to start making little claw attacks against the ones that are surrounding them. So, first, I'll mimic you and go clockwise. Okay, my good friend. Let's start with the one in the top right here. And he's going to make an attack against the rock. 2 attacks against the rock, actually, with his claws. That's a 21 and a 10 to hit.
21 hits.
Alright. That makes sense. It will deal 8 points of slashing damage to the rock.
Which one did you attack?
Specifically, it was the one right here. This rock right here. Yeah. And as it does, it kind of looks around. Sarah! Buraktara! It kind of just points in your direction, Scales. And the one over here will look at you. And you'll watch as its eye begins to start to glow. A more fierce, dark green glow. And I need you to make for me a Constitution saving throw as this sickly green ray begins to shoot out of the pupil of that green eye and to shoot straight towards you, impacting your form. Alright, you will have advantage on this.
Is it a spell?
It is... What? Hang on. Oh no, it's not a spell, no.
Okay. Just wanted to double check.
Yeah, it's an interesting lip. It's not a magical effect. Oh, no, this... It is technically magic, but it's not a spell.
Okay. So you did Constitution saving?
Correct. 6. Okay. You will take 10 points of necrotic damage as this rotting gaze begins to eat away at your flesh as it just begins to stare at you. It is the most unnerving feeling you have ever had. So go ahead and roll concentration for animate objects. Okay, 18, you're fine. Let's see here. This one will also try and rot you. And this one will try and rot you. So I need both Skanuk and Hawks to make con saves for me.
Don't forget you have emboldening bond.
Emboldening bond.
Alright. You both begin to sort of flex, and thankfully, the rotting gaze does not seem to affect you, either of you. Let's see here. This one is actually going to run up this way, provoking 2 attacks of opportunity. It's going to run towards you, Meepo. So those 2 rocks up there get to swing. Uh, 11 will miss. The 17 will hit for 5, though. So it's going to swing twice against you, Meepo, but because of the protection of Sonar, these will be a disadvantage. That is a 5, a natural 1 for the first one. And the second one is a 6. So both of those will miss. As Sonar fully folds you into his embrace, you can see as the claws strike against Sonar's flesh and they begin to sear and sizzle as the claws begin to pull back as the creature screeches in pain. It is unable to harm you with Sonar's protection. Which leaves this one right here. It's just going to take the dodge action. This is going to try and avoid being hit. Which means it's now Valin's turn. Valin does not like this thing right next to her. So she was actually somewhat, No, she'll do this preemptively. She's not hurt for the moment, but she'll do this. You will watch as her hand begins to become cloaked in this red sort of glowing energy, and she will thrust out her hand in a sort of vampiric-esque touch towards the Nothic. With a 20 to hit, interesting enough, I'll do the same. She will deal 12 points of necrotic damage to the Nothic. Let me double check. Okay, yes, it's not immune or resistant to it, so that's good. All right. As the Nothic's own skin begins to peel away. So Hawks, it is now your turn.
Okay. I don't like this one over here trying to go after Meepo. So stomp to here. And actually, just because I can, like, get myself adjacent to everything, I'll get myself here. And I will make attacks against this guy. I'll do an attack. And if I have any, if I can finish him off and move on, then I'll do so.
They are both pretty hurt.
So for now, we don't have advantage. We don't really have any bonuses here. 29 for 12 slashing.
All right, that was against this one down here first.
Yep.
All right, you manage Meepo as the protection from Sonar is cloaking you like a veil. As the creature, as soon as it reels back from its blow, Hagnar swoops in to the side and just cleaves the creature in twain, killing it.
Okay.
As much as I appreciate it, that's always unnerving.
And that means I've got 2 against this guy here. So 21 for 13.
Because they had taken so much damage previously, that is also enough to kill this creature, as you manage to cut off its own head.
Alright, well, there's not much else I can attack for now, so I guess I will just use the rest of my movement to advance this way.
well. Which means, Scales, your action economy destroying days are nigh upon us. What do you do? The swarm approaches.
Each of them will get attacked 3 times.
Very well. Nice and even. I like it. Alright, for 7. For 6. Okay, that last one will miss, but that's a good solid bit of damage for the first one.
Doesn't the second one miss as well?
Oh, that's right. The second one will miss as well. Yes, the 12 was not enough. I think I must. My eyes must be going, or at least my eyes must be tired. I thought I'd read that as like something else, but yes, that one will actually miss. Right?
And that was on that guy, right?
Correct.
Okay. And then just continue to work our way clockwise.
Here we go. 14 will just miss, unfortunately. 21 will hit though. 24 will also hit. Alright, going down there. Yes. No. And no, unfortunately, for the third one. A miss. A miss. A miss. Oh no.
With a +8 to hit too, like
That is unfortunate. Alright, is that your turn, or do you wish to move? Or do anything else?
that was my bonus action to do all that. I will take the dodge action.
Fair enough. Skunnock, it is your turn again. The Nothics will just start tapping into the weave as if it were the Matrix.
Yep. Okay, this one closest to me
Yes.
is still alive, and that's not okay. So I'm just going to shoot him in the face.
Fair.
18 to hit,
With the advantage, yes, an 18 will hit.
dealing 24 fire damage.
Disgustingly, he is alive, but a stiff breeze could blow him over.
Yep, fair enough. I'm going to flip him off and then walk this way.
Also fair. Alright, is that your turn then?
Just power walk away. Yeah, that's my turn.
Alright, Meepo, that means it is your turn now.
Give me a second.
Sure thing, sure thing.
Maybe get spell
Okay.
sniper.
I'm going to.
That's not pretty
Everybody looks fine, except for. Wait, is anybody even hit?
Mm,
Somebody was hit.
Still has some missing health from something a while ago, but
But nothing big.
might have been the falling tower.
Maybe.
But yeah, health-wise, you guys are mostly fine. It's mostly just a matter of resource attrition
Right.
at this point.
I have a hyperbolic
Sure
amount of
is.
health.
I don't know. I'm gonna move over here. 5, 10, 15, 20. Move turn order. 25, 30, 35, 40. And use the dodge action.
Very well. It is now the Nothic's turn again. Let's see, how far are you? What is the range on this? Okay, so this Nothic cannot reach you, Scales. But this one can. I need you to go ahead and make another con save for me, Scales. Because you're the closest one within reach. Scales, are you there? Hello? Can anyone hear me?
Hello?
I can hear you.
Oh,
There
okay.
you go.
Okay, I thought I lost connection for a second or something had happened.
No, I could hear you.
Okay. Could you make a con save for me, Scales, as the creature is targeting you with that rotting gaze attack again? 14? That is enough. You managed to resist its effect entirely. But the saving of this, so we're fine. This one is going to try and smack this rock 2 times. A 20 and an 18, surprisingly.
Both hit.
Dealing a total of 17 points of damage to that one rock. Let's see.
Which rock is that?
Oh, it was the one at the top right here, if you can see that. These two... Let me see here. This one's going to try and take the disengage action and get away from those things. And he will disappear out of sight for a moment, so that you get a good sense of where he is. I'm just going to put him on GM layer because you currently don't see him. Even though you know where he is, he's not hiding.
So he's just got cover.
He's just got cover. You know what? Just so I don't lose, so you guys don't lose him. You know where he is, but you currently don't have sight of him, visual sight. Just make it easier. That said, this one is going to target Hawks with a rotting gaze attack of his own. So go ahead and make another con save for me, Hawks. You're absolutely fine. And these Nothics have a rough couple days. That is their turn, unfortunately. It is now Miss Harpel's turn. She is going to... let's see here. Yeah, you know what? She's going to chance it. She sees how weak this one is. She's going to stride over here, and she's going to try and attack it. I'm not usually a close-range kind of gal, but I like to think of myself as tough as nails. For the 24 to hit, deal 7 points of necrotic damage, which will, as she reaches out her hand, as that red energy just consumes the creature's eye, she just reaches and just pulls the eye out of its socket and crushes it in her palm, absorbing the energy from within, killing it.
Ow, that was brutal.
I know, it's exciting. I don't usually get to use that spell. Wait, no, not Villain. Oh, Villain doesn't get the X. What am I doing?
She suddenly died.
Ooh. She just keels over. It was poisonous.
The spell was the poison all along. There we go.
But she's completed that part of the ritual.
But that was the last thing, though.
Missing a few steps there. But that means it is her turn. That is all of her movement. That's fine. She has some protection. Hawks, it is now your turn again.
Mm-hmm. We're going to assume that the swarm of objects will go after that guy who's fled up there. And so Hawks will go this way. We'll make 2 attacks here. Bop. Bop.
Alright, both of those. Oh, no, sorry. The second one does not hit. The first one will.
I have Emboldening Bond, so I will bump that first one up.
Which will make that second one a success, which will kill the Nothic as a result of the blessing of Eldath.
Then Hawks will grab a hand axe from his belt and use his third attack to just yeet one over this way.
Can he
But-
see the one that's over there now?
Make a perception check for me, Hawks, if you don't mind. 10. You don't see him there. He's just suddenly not there.
Okay, so this should have disadvantage because it'll be 25 feet range. So I'm just going to roll this a second time. And so 17 for 8 slashing.
Okay. He is still up, but he's not looking good. Alright, is that your turn?
That is my turn.
Buggers, ain't they?
Alright. Scales, it is now your turn again.
Where'd the Nothic go that was up top?
It's strange. You saw the Nothic go behind this pillar. You don't think he tried to hide from you, but Hux points out that he's just not there anymore.
I see the big gangly thing with the serrated maw, right?
Oh, you sure do. It's one of the largest pieces in the room. It is massive, by the way. It's just this long winding funnel that just ends in a large toothy maw with these 4 gangly, spindly limbs that's just hanging from the ceiling from wires. It's hard to miss. But it does appear to be dead. That you can tell from this distance. You'd have to inspect it closer, but it looks dead.
Demonic Windsock.
Everyone's favorite.
Those are gonna hang there until the thing gets out of the maw, which I'm pretty sure it's in.
We will have,
Just hiding in there.
we'll have
And
to
then
see.
these other 3 are gonna move.
Alrighty. Let's go ahead and make some attacks for me. Put this thing out of its misery.
Being that Nothic and just like looking out of the little maw and seeing just the gun line.
So 3 of the objects are gonna use the help action, and the other 4 are gonna make attack rolls. So 3 of them are gonna have advantage.
Alright.
See.
Swing away. Yes? It's not the second one, but the third one is enough to take it down.
Good, because the 4th one missed.
Excellent. With that, though, the remaining Nothics that are visible are all slain. So, for now, I'm going to put the turn order on pause. Not this one now. So, you still have the museum to explore. That one Nothic, completely gone. No sign of him whatsoever. And Meepo, as you round the corner, You don't.
Any secret hatches or compartments back here? Doors?
Uh, you can go ahead and roll investigation or perception of your choice. But how are you? Is there any particular way that you're looking for it?
I'm looking at like the tiles, seeing if any of them look like they slide to the side, looking at the side of the pillar, seeing if it has any like little notches or weird buttons on it, little pieces I could push or pull.
Sure. Go make perception or an investigation check. Your choice. Okay.
That's performance. Oops.
Oopsie.
Right.
Peter breaks out into a sharper defense.
Perception is a better, better
Okay,
number
better.
bonus.
There are no signs of any sort of trapdoors or secret compartments. Just the pillar that's there before you, completely immaculate and perfectly crafted, probably as it was when it was first built.
Huh.
Did he climb up?
There's no obvious signs of climbing up or scrambling. I will notice, Meepo, that you notice there is a droplet of blood that is next to the pillar, but there is no obvious sign or any sort of sign of a body of any kind.
It's not pooling or anything.
No, not pooling.
Not
Just
like
a
a
single.
pool of blood, just one drop.
Yeah, just a single smattering droplet of blood.
This seems like Grill country suddenly.
I'm assuming this is gibberish that I can't read.
It is something that you actually can read, in fact. On this second kind of like upper level, which is around, let me see here. It's about like 15 or so feet higher from the ground floor. It is covered in a layer of frost if you wish to wipe it away.
I will.
You wipe away the frost, and it reads the following. Adult Faerun, do not touch, in bolded, italicized, and underlined letters. Dwellers of the Underdark. Faerun are malevolent aberrations that are master spellcasters and highly resistant to magic. They use their telepathy to control the weak-minded. They strive to erase all other beings from existence and are known to have caused the collapse of the Sarek Empire of Istosififil. They use their tail stingers to inject their eggs into alien hosts.
Everyone. Get ready for something bad to happen.
Yeah. What is this thing up here?
Go ahead and looking at that. It appears to be what looks like two cubes that have this glowing, ethereal kind of bluish tinge to them. They are connected at one of their sides by a steel sort of bar. It seems to be hovering in place in the midst of this sort of small iron cage.
Okay. Okay, I thought it might be like a Stargate looking thing, but alright.
It does come
Alright,
Stargate.
so Nothic didn't get out there. So I guess it must be... Yeah, he probably did climb in this thing, I guess.
I will ask, Scales, are your objects, are they just kind of hovering there?
Yeah. If we didn't find anything shortly after coming up the stairs, I would have sent them into the maw of the thing there. And if not, then I would.
You're sending them into the maw.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you send the objects into the maw, the blue glow around this structure suddenly turns a fierce red color. And you hear a... And then suddenly, next to you, Skinnock, the pillar starts to move and turns jello-y, amorphous, gooey.
Son of a
As a
bitch.
spitting mimic erupts and changes from each of these 4 pillars, the security system has become active. And we will restart, well, not restart, we will resume the initiative order at Uskanuk. However, considering that you didn't see them, this first round of this particular round, we'll have them acting first as they had surprised you. So, hang on, I need to look up theirs.
I think I know where the Nothic went.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Once again. So let me remove these Nothics from the... Funnily enough, they rolled the same as the Nothics in that situation, which is kind of funny.
Perfectly balanced.
Perfectly balanced, of course. I see here. So let me reset that and then put it at Skanuk. Let's bring back that joyful music by Travis Sawar, shall we? Buried Secrets. As the mimics. Well, first let me check something really quickly, just to make sure I didn't accidentally stop the stream. Because I pressed something by accident. Okay, we're good. But I should zoom in a little bit right here so I can get a better view of what's going on here on the map. Perfect. So, the mimics take their surprise. As this one next to you, Skanuk, you watch as the pillar next to you suddenly turns into this amorphous goo as a serrated massive mon, this long slimy tongue, slithers out from it and is going to make an attack, 3 attacks against you. That's a 24. And a 16. As the 2 pseudopods will try and grab you.
Let's see. Denied.
At 24 is then a miss then?
My AC is 25.
Excellent. Okay. Then in that case, it has 1 more attack. It will try and bite you. For a 17, which will miss you. Alright. So, with that in mind, this one is going to slowly this way. Actually, no. Yeah, it's actually going to slowly down here. It's going to slowly get down to here. And attack you 3 times, Scales. 2 times with its pseudopods, a 19 and a 14. Do any of those hit?
Both.
Both of those will hit. Okay, so as the pseudopod hits you, Scales, you are drawn in slightly, and it is now grappling you. You are affected by its adhesive trait.
I'm not trapped here with you. You're trapped here with me.
Haha! Well, so you will take... oh wait, oh, sorry, that's an attack roll, not a damage roll. So you will take 15 and 12, so that is 27 points of bludgeoning damage. And then the final attack roll, which I didn't roll, which will have advantage.
Are you sure I can't take the 23 damage?
Maybe you can. What do you got?
From the D20? I'll take D20 damage over 2D10.
Unfortunately, that's a 23 for the bite now. Which will deal 9 points of piercing damage plus 7 points of acid damage to you. As you're being slowly drawn in by the pseudopods. these creatures will begin to slowly shift this way. And seeing as they can't quite reach some of you, you will watch as suddenly the form of the pillar begins to expand and contract. As they both lodge a glob of acidic spit. One in your direction, Meepo, and then one at you, Hawk. So I will need both Hawks, Hagnar, and Meepo to make for me dexterity saving throws. Okay, 21. 12 plus 4. Okay. Okay, so both of you succeed with the emboldening bond, Meepo. So that'll be half of this. You'll take half of 31 points of acid damage, bringing it down to 15.
I can use my reaction, since it's dexterity save, to take 0 from that.
Okay. So, with that, it is now back at the top of the turn order with their surprise. Skunnock, it is your turn.
Okay.
Let me check something really quick on one of my abilities before we do that.
Okay, I'll just do it. So let's start with this.
Okay.
This is probably gonna hurt.
So I wouldn't be able to do anything. Okay.
So go over here. Then I'm going to breakaway. Drum.
Okay, it's gonna smack you. For 24. You do get you get your reaction back because it's the start of your turn.
Yep, more shield.
Okay.
That'll be good. Cool. And then for my action this turn, I think I can only get 2 of the. I probably could have gotten all of these guys actually. When I think about it, couldn't have. Could only have gotten 2. That makes me feel better. Yeah. So fireball time. Because absolutely not.
Okay, so going for those ones. Okay. Good. Alright, so 2 dexterity saving throws. An 18 with a +1, and an. Really? Wow.
Well, they're still eating half.
They're still eating half, that's true.
I clicked on it. It's us. There we go.
Okay.
Half
Plus
of
he's got-
38.
Okay.
Plus he's got
Push
a
that to the side over here. Just we're gonna pretend. See that?
elemental adept, but he didn't roll any ones.
Unfortunate.
6s, but no 1s.
Indeed. So half of 38. Okay, so that will be 30, 19. Okay, so minus that. Still a decent amount of damage. As they manage, you watch as they because they're still kind of shaped like pillars, but they're kind of squat and shrunk down a little bit. They just kind of wiggle out of the way slowly, but they still manage to get scorched by the aftermath.
No likey. Yeah. I'm gonna continue running over here, and that'll be my turn.
Okay.
Let's
Alright.
see, is that a lovely 25?
Alrighty. Meepo then is your turn.
I think that certain spell is in order. Let me double check something first though.
I need to mark these enemies because these are the ones that used their spit and the other 2 did not. So I'll just mark those so I know who did. A wise policy. As a reach out for Eldath's mercy, she shields you with her protective might as you cast Sanctuary.
And then bonus action. Action Action dodge.
Action dodge. All right. Fair
So
enough.
I move a little bit closer.
Make yourself the least appealing target possible.
As they get closer. All right. With that, it is now surprisingly their turn again. These ones didn't use their spit. These ones did. So let me see if they regain their spit. Let's see. What's the recharge on that? Really? Interesting. Okay. So the one on the left, the one on the right. Okay, they don't get their spit back. So in that case, this one's just gonna slowly meander over here. Let's see, what's the range on that? Reach 10 feet. Okay. So it is going to try and attack you 3 times, but in order to do so, it must succeed on a wisdom saving throw. 3 wisdom saving throws to be precise.
DC 17.
DC 17. And of course, even if it does pass that, it'll still have to contend with the disadvantage. So, we will see what happens. 1, 2, 3. All of them fail. You watch as the tendrils try and start to wrap around you, but they just kind of begins to stop, and it just kind of like looks confused, as it doesn't understand
It's
what's
like-
going on.
This what? No, this. This it? No.
It seems like it doesn't quite understand what's happening. It's like it's like a dog trying to lick across glass. It doesn't seem to know what to do. It just seems to be like spitting and licking on air. This one, however, is going to try and sneak behind you, Skinnock, and attack you 3 times.
Okay.
A soft 20. A 19 as well for the 2 pseudopods. Does the soft 20 hit?
Nope. Because until my next turn, I've got 25.
Right.
Shield's still up.
Right, that's
What?
right. Okay, cool. Excellent. All right, so that means the bite will come in 23.
Yep, not today.
You had to
today.
not wanted to touch him.
Don't say that. Oh no.
Wait.
Well, nothing else can reach you from where you are, so you're fine.
Oh, wait, hold on. I'm rolling 1d20 plus 5. Oh, that should be 1d20 plus 8. I'm so sorry. I think
Oh.
the 19 will still miss.
The last one I think will be the only one that hits.
The last one will hit then, unfortunately. But that was the bite though, so it's not going to grapple you with it.
That's
Oh,
good.
they grapple.
The pseudopods do.
Forgot.
Hawks can switch with you before you take the damage.
Hold on. I made the same mistake I did before. It's 1d10.
My reaction was used to take 0 damage from the spit.
Oh, right. Then Scales can switch with him and not be trapped.
It's not that much. It's
You take
19 damage.
11 points of piercing and 8 points of acid damage, Skinnock.
Ugh.
Yeah, I really don't want to be taking anyone's damage for anybody right now because I'm at like
Yeah.
30-ish.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
it's-
Oof. I can fix that. I can fix that.
I can fix that too. I got this.
Ow,
Remember, he's
mimic.
constantly here with me.
That's true.
Hew.
Are
Alright.
mimics biological?
Technically.
That's always the question, isn't it?
They're technically living creatures by it's borderline. It's borderline. They're technically
Food
still
for
living
thought.
creatures. They're monstrosities. They're not constructs, even though they can turn into objects. It's more like there's a reason they're called mimics. They look like objects, but they're not technically objects.
But they can be set on fire, yeah.
Oh, they sure can with the fireball. That's right. What was I gonna do? Right. This mimic right here. It's gonna look at you, Meepo. It's gonna spit that acid at you. The one down here. So I need you to make a dex save for me.
At advantage.
At advantage, yes, because the dodge action does let you do that.
Dex save.
Okay, a 17. With that, you will pass. You will take half of 33, so you will take 16. 16 points of acid damage.
Do not like these creatures.
Yeah, and it was like slowly slorp over to halfway off the balcony, halfway to get right next to you. The one next to you, Scales, is gonna try and just do its best to just munch on you.
Did it have to do the wisdom save to try to hit me?
No,
No.
because it's an area of effect.
Area of effect.
Oh,
Is
okay.
it? Okay, fair enough.
It wasn't attacking just me, it was attacking around me.
Yes, it's an AoE. It's not an attack roll essentially. So it's going to attack you 3 times, Scales, with advantage. 12 for the first one, a 27 for the second, and a 20 for the last one.
The second 2 hit.
Okay, so you're going to take... So I'm not going to mess this up this time. You take 12 points of bludgeoning from the first pseudopod. And from the bite attack, you're going to take... oops, that didn't work. You're going to take 8 points of bludgeoning, as in addition to 7 points of acid damage. That would be the Mimic's turns.
Kinda wish I had just taken that acid damage on the nose and had my actual reactions to use at this point. Ugh.
Vlyn will see this and go, "Oh! Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. No, 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 no." She was going to snap her fingers and she's going to cast... Let's see. She's still concentrating on Vampiric Touch, but she
She's
does
gonna
not...
cast Destroy Mimics really quickly so that they don't bother us anymore.
Let's see. She still has...
Very specific spell.
Actually, she can do this. She's actually going to cast Blight on the one that is targeting Scales. So it's going to need to make a con save. +10. 10. Excellent, excellent. So that means it's going to take a significant amount of damage. Let me double check the actual specific damage type. 8d8
Necrotic.
No, no, sorry. I said damage type, but I meant the dice specifically.
Damage amount, right.
Damage amount. Okay, that's going to be 31 points of necrotic damage against this creature. As you see the moisture, almost like clay, begins to be absorbed out of it, leaving some of its skin, amorphous kind of gray oozing skin, dry and cracked. And she will scurry away this way. Hagnar.
Okay. I think this is the appropriate time to use my last Giant's Might.
Yay.
So I'll do that as a bonus action. And Hux will step right here. And he's actually going to switch to his the Bloodfang Javelin, the Ice Spear. And he's going to make some attacks against this one that's got scales. I do
Alrighty.
not have advantage, but I do have a spear. So we get a bop for a 19.
Alright, that'll definitely hit.
You have another bop for a 20.
That will also definitely hit.
And so one of those will get the D8 added to it. So yeah, it'll be 11 piercing and 1 cold on the first one, 9 piercing and 6 cold on the second one.
Alright, let me go.
I don't know how hurt this thing is, but I really want it to let go of scales, so
Alright,
I'm gonna...
it fails one of the con saves. It is chilled.
try to bop it one more time, see if I can't get it just a little bit. 13...
A 13.
I have Emboldening Bond still, right?
Yes.
I believe you do, yes.
15.
Well, wouldn't you have advantage on the attack roll anyway?
I would not, no.
He
Why
has
not?
roared.
What, pack tactics?
He
I
doesn't
am
have pack-
using the alternate kobold, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I do not have pack tactics.
But with that, though,
not-
that will hit the creature, dealing it 9 more damage.
Yep.
It is still up, but it is looking extremely hurt at this point.
Okay. And I am ready to use a reaction.
Alrighty. Scale, it is now back to your true turn. It's time. It's time.
I had 3 HP left.
Woo! Flashes of scales going through of Savage going through my mind. It's time to go ape, or Yeti rather.
Trapped here with me.
And let me double check its specifics of this. Okay, technically you are still grappled by it.
Yeah, that's okay.
But you are now monkey.
Everything's just so big.
That'll be my turn.
Alright, Skinnock, back to you.
All right. What are these orange marks again?
Oh, the orange ones were for those who had used their acid spit but had not gotten them back
Ah.
yet. And this one had
Did
used
the
it
one
as
that?
well.
Okay.
Doesn't Scales have a bonus action to control the? I guess no. He would have. That would have been concentration, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and I figured the concentration would have gone up since the battle started.
Yeah. Fine.
Excellent placement.
Can't we do that without hitting homes? But this, that looks rather tasty. So those two will need to be making a
Good old con save.
Constitution saving throw, which is probably something they're quite good at.
Usually, but not this time.
Not today.
Not today. No, sir.
That will be 19 thunder damage.
Howie?
Not that much. It's really not that much.
No, but it's not that much, he says. It's still a decent amount.
It's 19 to 2 creatures, so it's almost 40.
True. Oh, I really should have gotten my cannon out early in this fight, like with the Nothics, but I just didn't because it was the spell slot. And now I can. Let's see. How fast are these things? Do they seem? How fast do these things seem?
Not very. Like, you figure they can move around 20 feet or so?
All right, I'm gonna risk it. I'm just gonna jump off this edge. How high is it?
Like 15 or so feet.
Oh yeah, I'll take a bit of damage. Fuck it.
Alright, fair enough. It's gonna try and whack you. 14, miss.
14? Not today.
You'll take 2 points of bludgeoning damage as you fall down.
My ankle.
Bone snaps.
Technically, you fall prone, don't you?
Oh, you know what? You would roll an acrobatics check. I believe you might be able to mitigate these with an acrobatics.
I see.
So go ahead and roll an acrobatics check for me real quick. Okay, you're fine. I'll
15.
let the I'll say you managed to bounce off of Hawks' shoulder as you roll down.
Fair enough.
Ow. You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, is that your turn?
Yeah, this feels like a much safer place to be.
Fair enough. Meepo, it's your turn. You're currently surrounded on 2 sides.
Let me check the distance on this. That's range, so that's fine. How you doing, Sknuck?
I'm okay.
How you doing, Hawks?
These things haven't hurt me yet.
Alright. guess. I will do this on myself. Or
Very
wait,
well.
no, I'm gonna use healing word instead
Okay.
because it's a bonus action. And then I'm gonna action dodge again.
Fair enough.
And that's D4 plus. Yeah, minimum, but whatever.
Oh, that happens so much to you. It's so unfortunate.
It's D4s.
I know, but
D4s get low rolls all the time.
Is
That's
that-
why when you have acid damage, you always want to
yeah.
get the elemental adept with acid because they have all the D4s. Anyway,
Right.
that's my turn.
Indeed. Now it is 12 o'clock on my end. Some of them do still seem to be pretty hardy. Do you guys want to pause the session here and then pick it up next week? Right, you're dodging.
There's a part of me that wants to say I want to at least see it get to the next initiative count 20. So we have the top of the round.
Fair enough. Okay, I can do that. After we hit top of the initiative, do you guys want to call it there? After that?
That sounds good.
Works for me.
Okay, cool. All right. In that case, it'll be their turns. Let's see if they get back their spit. So, starting from left to right. Yes. No. No. The one next to you, Meepo. The one on your immediate left. Suddenly begins to burble again. Need you to make another dex save for me with advantage because you're taking the dodge action.
There we go.
23. Okay, so you take half. So you instead take 17.
17.
17 points of acid damage. And then the one above here is going to try and make its wisdom saves to break through your sanctuary. 1, 2, 3. One will go through.
One made it. It still has disadvantage on the attack.
It does. A 16 to hit you.
I believe my AC is higher than that. My AC is 16.
So it matches.
Let me double check. I've got a shield.
You no longer have the +1 from Sinar because
Got-
it's the
Right, I know that. Leather armor. So yeah, that'll go through.
That'll go through? Okay, so you are grappled by the Mimic, and you will take... If I can actually roll this correctly, and not mess it up
You
again.
mean that Meepo is not grappled by the Mimic.
Ah!
Instead, this Mimic right here takes however much damage.
I see!
So I'm within 30 feet of both of them, and
Haha!
here.
That mimic
I'm
is
within-
also grappled.
Not quite. No, it's not technically grappled. But, nice try. It will take that damage, though. It is still standing, however. Does mean...
Oh. Whew.
This one is going to try and make 3 attacks against you, Hawks, since you're right in front of it. A big, meaty target.
Okay.
So that's going to be 2 pseudopod attacks, a 25 and a 16.
25 will hit. Not much I can do about that.
Okay, and because you're grappled by it, the bite attack will have advantage. For 25 both ways.
Yep, that'll hit.
Okay, so you're going to be taking, for the first attack, 12 points of bludgeoning damage. And then for the second the bite attack, you're gonna take 6 points of piercing in addition to 10 points of acid damage.
That's 28 damage total.
28 damage, yes. Alright.
Yeah.
And then the one that is grappling you, Savage. Oh god, I called you Savage. No! Is grappling you, Scales.
That would begin.
No! I didn't mean it! Okay.
Not quite so it begins.
That was a major faux pas. Oh my gosh. For those
Scales
of you who don't know,
alive.
for those of you who are still coming in at this point, Savage was his previous character, who also died. So let's hope that.
Also,
Well, let's hope. Well, dang it! I'm making so. Guys, I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
we're just messing.
I know. A 16 for the first attack and a 25 for the second one. And for the bite, it's a 23. So you're gonna take. You're gonna take 15 points of bludgeoning for the first one. Let's go ahead and roll concentration for polymorph for me. Let's hope that you can survive the concentration with the polymorph. I'm praying. I got my hands clasped.
Gotta check my Constitution modifier for the giant ape.
Yes. My hands are clasped. I'm praying.
Plus a lot.
You also have Emboldening Bond to keep this if you need it. You don't have to use it, but you can use
It's
it.
+4.
So the DC is 10. Nope, that did not go through. Okay. That's fine. And so the second one, at 7 points of damage, so roll another con save. Okay, you're fine. That's 11 points of bludgeoning plus... Oh, no, sorry, 11 points of piercing plus 9 points of acid for the bite, for a total of 20, so the DC is still 10. Whew, okay. You're good. You're good. Whew. A rough round. But it's now Valen's turn, and she's like, darn it, I only have one more of these. After this, I'm sorry, Hux, no more flying. And she will cast a bolt of lightning. Both will fail. That's a sad roll. They will take full damage.
This is
though.
when elemental items is needed.
Exactly. They do look pretty hurt though, but they are still up. So that'll be your turn. Hawks, that means it's your turn.
Alright. So I'm going to start by stabbying this guy and seeing if I can finish him off and free Scales. And I'm going to use a roar, so I'll actually have advantages now.
Alright.
So first, we will stabby once for 27.
27 will definitely hit.
11 piercing, 3 cold, and I'll throw in that D8 of being big damage for 6 more piercing.
Alright, how would you like to kill this particular mimic?
I'm gonna just skewer the pseudopods that it has the scales grasped by, and then just kick it off of them.
Alright,
Push it aside.
with a swift kick, you launch the mimic. Oh, sorry. You don't launch yourself, sorry. You launch the mimic up the stairs. as it
I
splats.
springboard off the mimic to go after the one that's attacking Skinup, because I have 2 more attacks.
Indeed.
And he also would have been roared. So, bop and bop.
Okay, both of those will hit.
So 10 piercing, 4 cold, and 9 piercing, 4 cold.
Okie dokily. I'm gonna have it roll a con save. 2 con saves, actually. Okay. It's chilled.
So no reactions from it.
Indeed.
I know it's got Skinup grabbed right now, but
It doesn't actually, but it was attacking earlier.
oh, well then you kind of can just get away from it then. It can't react.
Oh, I'm all the way down here. I moved. I ran.
Oh, Roll20 is doing
Yeah.
some weird things then.
I took some fall damage and I just kept on running.
Alright, let me refresh Roll20 and see where everyone actually is, I guess.
Yeah. But that is.
I do appreciate the save though.
That is the top of the turn order, though, and with that, as the battle wages on, I will call it there for tonight.
Ooh,
And we'll resume the battle
mimics.
next week. For the thrilling
Mimics everywhere.
Whew. Alright, so, before I, of course, leave off for the night, I would like to give a special shout out, of course, to Tessa Moorcroft on DM's Guild for her wonderful maps. The map that you're currently witnessing right now, and the quite lovely drawing of the Faerun, which I really appreciated. As well as the music that you're currently listening to right now, Buried Secrets from Travis Savoy's Winter's Wrath album. I'll post the links in chat, and I'll post that onto the YouTube description when this gets uploaded. I had some trouble uploading the episode for the previous session. I still have the file on Twitch, so both should be uploaded by tomorrow. I'll try and do it after the session ends, but both should be up by tomorrow. But until then, we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hi.
Bye.